Buonasera, Pala Expo Fevi, buonasera Piazza Grande e buonasera Giona.
Buonasera Giada, buonasera Piazza Grande, buonasera Pala Expo Fevi.
Il sabato sera è la nostra serata più emozionante, anche il film di questa sera non fa eccezione. Ma prima di parlarne vorremmo presentarvi una delle novità legate a questa 75esima edizione del Locarno Film Festival.
Sì, si tratta di un progetto che abbiamo molto amato e che ci ha molto appassionato e come sapete il cinema sta dappertutto, cambia tutto e il cinema può stare anche in un frammento di 7,5 secondi.
Cosa sono questi 7,5 secondi? È un cripto francobollo, vero? Possiamo già svelarlo.
Esatto, è un cripto francobollo che abbiamo realizzato mettendo a servizio l'intelligenza e i talenti di giovanissimi registi e creativi svizzeri.
Sì, hanno tutti un legame anche con il nostro festival, con il Locarno Film Festival. Questo progetto non sarebbe stato possibile senza la Posta e ora abbiamo il piacere di chiamare sul palco Roberto Cirillo, che è il CEO della Posta, per parlare con lui dell'importanza del progetto. Buonasera e benvenuto a Locarno.
Buonasera.
Benvenuto.
Prego. Roberto Cirillo, lei ha origini ticinesi, immagino quindi che non sia la sua prima volta a Locarno.
No, non è la prima volta, penso è la quarta volta che vengo al festival, ma devo ammettere la prima volta sul palco, perciò leggera emozione c'è.
Io vorrei anche chiederle qual è l'innovazione principale di questi cripto francobolli e perché la Posta ha a cuore questa tematica del film.
Allora, penso che siano 8 società al mondo che hanno emesso questi francobolli sulla NFT, non fungible token, sulla blockchain, incluse le Nazioni Unite, solo che a nostra conoscenza è la prima volta dove il gemello digitale del francobollo fisico non è un'immagine fissa, ma è un film. È un film e non un film qualsiasi, un film d'autore. 7,5 secondi dell'arte, della settima arte, legati a un'immagine fissa che è quella del francobollo. E abbiamo pensato che era un contributo per omaggiare la settima arte, da una parte, dall'altra parte con questa prima mondiale per far conoscere ancora di più il festival in giro per il mondo. Ormai nel mondo digitale è tutto globale, perciò questi francobolli li ritroveremo da qualche parte in Nuova Zelanda piuttosto che in Cile o da qualche altra parte del mondo. Ed era importante anche perché si può far avvicinare al mondo del digitale un pubblico più vasto, perciò anche al mondo dei film, del cinema, generazioni che magari oggi sono solo sui social media o solo su altre piattaforme digitali. Tutto questo perché alla fine bisogna continuare a evolvere, bisogna svilupparsi, bisogna fare in modo che anche questa digitalizzazione che è onnipresente si sviluppi in una maniera che è coerente con i nostri valori, con le nostre esigenze e il film e in particolare il Festival del Film di Locarno fa parte integrante dei nostri valori in Svizzera e soprattutto qui in Ticino.
Grazie per aver reso possibile questo progetto e come sempre noi lasciamo che a parlare siano le immagini, abbiamo un breve filmato che illustra proprio il progetto dei cripto francobolli. Grazie Roberto Cirillo.
Grazie a voi. Grazie.
And Gianna, we continue our evening by honoring with the Raimondo Rezzonico Award a key figure in the Hollywood industry.
Yes, when the producer to whom we proposed to come to Locarno to receive the Raimondo Rezzonico Award, it was one of those days that you remember when you get by email a very beloved, what can I say, a message that you wait for, that you eagerly wait for, and when it popped up, you were like, wow, this is a great day. And I'm still a bit touched by that because, you know, it was a bit, and this person is one of the busiest person in the industry. He's a true visionary. He's a game changer. He has produced more than 80 films. He's extremely young. He has changed the collective way of thinking about films. And
here is a glimpse of his career.
How do you feel now?
I can't move.
Now, sink into the floor.
Wait.
Sink.
If not now, when? And if not you, who? Who? We need an undying love for black people wherever we may be. All power to all the people. All power to all the people. All power to all the people. All power to all the people.
Your heart is pure. Rejoice. The broken are the more evolved. Rejoice.
Piazza Grande, Fevi, please welcome the one and only Jason Blum. Make some noise.
Welcome to Locarno.
Thank you. Amazing. Thank you.
Jason Blum, welcome to Locarno. Thank you very much for being here.
Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure to be here. Thank you so much.
How did you begin your career in the cinema industry?
I begun my career in, well, this isn't quite in the cinema, but I think the best training I had to become a producer was being a salesman. And I begun my career in Chicago, where I was a door-to-door salesman of cable TV. I did that for a year, and then I got my license in real estate, and I became a real estate agent for a year. And those were the two best things I did to prepare me for being a producer.
So you pretty much...
You know why? The reason for that is because when you're doing sales, those of you who do sales know this, mostly what you hear is no. And as a producer, mostly what you hear is no.
what you say as well.
And mostly what you say as a producer is yes.
So you deliberately tried to set out to work according to your own rule book because you pretty much reinvented how you do genre, cinema, and so on, and you kept on surprising with your strategies. I mean, no one could really understand what was going on in Blumhouse.
I spent about 12 years in the movie business, not really sure what I wanted to do. I had kind of one foot in independent film and one foot in studio film. And what I learned is I loved the way studios distributed movies, but I did not like how studios made movies. And I loved the way independent movies were made, but I did not like the way independent movies were distributed. And so what Paranormal Activity was, it happened after I'd been working for about 12 years, was a real mix of both movies, of both ideas. It was a totally independent movie distributed by a big studio. And after I did Paranormal Activity, I had so much fun doing that, I thought maybe there is a business in making independent movies distributed by studios. And that's still what we do today.
While preparing this evening with Jonah, we were saying that you are one of the hardest working talents in the industry. And the question was, is he sleeping? Is he sleeping at all? I mean, when do you sleep, Jason Blum?
I actually really think Americans are particularly guilty of this. And I think it's, I always don't like when Americans particularly say, I work 18 hours a day, I have lunch 5 times. So I have a great team, we have 100 people, I delegate a lot, I have a healthy work life and a very healthy family life. My family's actually here, my little Roxy and Lauren. And so, so the key to doing a lot is being a great delegator and being very efficient. And I'm both those things, and that way I don't have to work 18 hours a day. I can enjoy places like Locarno.
And now we have the great pleasure to present the Raimondo Rezzonico Award to Jason Blum. And I call on stage Felice Dafont, the mayor of Minusio. Ben ritrovato, Felice Dafont. Buonasera.
Benvenuto.
Gentili signore e regi signori, carissime amiche e amici di Locarno Film Festival, 20 anni fa il comune di Minusio decise di istituire questo premio Raimondo Rezzonico per ricordare un suo illustre concittadino, presidente storico di questo film festival durante 20 anni, in momenti che non erano per nulla facili. Però questo premio è anche voluto per sottolineare come in questi 10 giorni la nostra regione diventa un po' la capitale mondiale per il cinema d'autore e per i produttori mondiali. Se io scorro i premiati di questi 20 anni trovo produttori grandi, innovativi, coinvolgenti. Ebbene, questa sera con voi meraviglioso pubblico e quale sindaco di Minusio ho il particolare piacere di consegnare il premio Raimondo Rezzonico 2022 al produttore Jason Blum. Jason Blum è un giovane produttore molto attivo, ha saputo raccontare la vita in modo diverso, ha saputo promuovere nuovi talenti, un gigante nel mondo del cinema, diceva il nostro direttore, al quale rubo 2 parole, diceva il nostro direttore, è un creatore di cinema dal tocco inconfondibile, che il nostro festival è onorato di celebrare. Con tutta la nostra stima, congratulazioni.
Thank you very much. I'm very, very honored to receive this, so I wrote a few words down because I didn't want to forget anything. But thank you very much. This is a big, big honor. Now, give me 1 second. Okay, it looks longer than it is. Thank you, Jonah. Thank you, Locarno. Thank you, Felice Dafond. That's the end. I already thanked my amazing wife, Lauren, and Roxy Blum. We have 2 other children, Betty Sue and Booker, who aren't here, but I brought my oldest daughter, so I really appreciate you guys being here. That's the most important thing to me. There are a few other people that I'd like to thank as well, but before that, I want to tell a very short story. When I first started working on scary movies with Paranormal Activity and Insidious and Sinister, one of the things I loved about it was all these directors were such misfit outsiders who never seemed to get much respect from mainstream Hollywood. Everyone in Hollywood thought that scary movies must be easy to make. But these misfits really loved movies. They knew how hard it was to make a great, scary movie. And they mostly didn't care what mainstream Hollywood thought of them. When I first started doing press and going to college screenings and touring the United States and the world with these movies, I came to realize that horror movie fans have the same kind of misfit energy as the horror movie directors do. Horror movie fans really love these movies protectively. They whisper about them to their fellow fans, almost like sharing a secret. When I first got the rights to Paranormal Activity, I could not get any studio to agree to put the movie out. So instead, I sold the remake rights to Paranormal Activity to what was then and still is DreamWorks. But I insisted on one special provision in the deal that no one had ever done before. I insisted that all the decision makers at the studio, all the decision makers at DreamWorks, watch Paranormal Activity on a big screen. In theory, it would be to help the writers of the remake figure out which parts of the story worked. But secretly, I knew that when they all saw the way the audience jumped and screamed and loved the movie, that DreamWorks would decide not to spend millions of dollars on a remake and instead would put the original movie in theaters. And that's how Paranormal Activity first came to be. Because 300 fans in that theater watching a secret, scary movie jumped and laughed and screamed throughout that screening, Paranormal Activity would go on to provide a template for how my company would work: low-cost, commercial, provocative, scary movies. That film wouldn't be what it was without the genius of the director and writer, Oren Peli. Nor would Sinister be what it was without Scott Derrickson, or Insidious without James Wan and Leigh Whannel. So thank you to them and all the other incredible movie directors who trusted our little system to make their film. But I most specifically want to thank the fans. There were 300 of you who helped get that first movie into theaters, and now there are millions and millions more, many of you misfits or outsiders who have come to these movies for the shared experience of being scared together. Whether you are in Korea, or Middle America, or Latin America, or even Locarno. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Jason Blum, that was a true Locarno moment.
And we'd like to remind that tomorrow you will have the opportunity to attend a conversation with Jason Blum. It takes place at the Forum at 10:30. Jonah, we now present the 2 films featured in the night in Locarno. We start with the second, a thriller in which extravagance and creativity meet.
Yes, the first time I caught a glimpse of the brilliance of Medusa Deluxe was in London last October. They showed like a clip of maybe 2 minutes, and I thought this is something that is worthy of the Piazza Grande.
And now we have the pleasure to call the delegation of the film on stage, and I start with the director, Thomas Hardiman. Welcome to Locarno.
How's it going?
And I'm
My
also,
voice like this.
I'm also pleased to call on stage your cast, your talents. Anita Joy Ueja, Claire Perkins, Debbie Stevenson, Haider Ali, Kai Alexander, Kyla Makel, and I'll continue with Luke Pasqualino, Nicola Karimi, and Lilith Lessler. Welcome to Locarno.
Thomas, as I
Hey,
said,
you all right?
I mean, this is an impressive cast. When we spoke in London, how did this film come to happen? I mean, what was the first spark that convinced you that you had to make this journey with all these wonderful, creative, and talented people?
Blimey, it's a big question. Firstly, thank you, Jason. That was incredible. I could listen to you all night. Also, we can't see the Piazza Grande here, and I'm just going to wave, but thank you for braving the rain. It's very kind. The film, my mum likes hair a lot, and I spent a lot of time with my mum in hairdressers. So, yeah, that was the beginning of it, and you just go from there, don't you? You find something you love, and then you keep going.
Okay. That's nice.
I can say more if you want.
No, it's okay. And
Maybe without spoiling anything, because we
I'll come
don't
back over.
want. What were the challenges in shooting this film, without spoiling?
I'm not going to give any spoilers. So Medusa Deluxe is a murder mystery set in a competitive hairdressing competition. And it's a pretty challenging film. I think you have some unbelievable, shooting a film is a difficult thing, but everybody does it and you just get through them. I think the most important thing is you get supported from a very early point by an incredible cast. Obviously, I'm extremely thankful to you all and I'm very happy you're here. And everyone who backs you. It's unbelievable. You kind of I never thought anyone would let me make a film, and all I can say is thank you. Obviously, we had BBC, BFI, Mubi, A24 all behind us, and I mean, this is mad. We've got 2 screenings for the price of 1, so it's, really, I'm incredibly grateful you're all here, and it means a lot.
Thank you. Thank you very much for being here
Thank
with
you.
your beautiful film. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Enjoy your evening in Locarno. Thank you.
Thanks a lot, man.
And Jonah, now we are coming to the main program of this evening with a road movie. The film tackles an important subject. A representative of the United Nations is here with us tonight on the year that marks the 20th anniversary of Switzerland joining the United Nations. The film's protagonist is an extremely talented, she's an exceptional artist in a unique role in this film.
yeah, the first time that we saw the film, we were immediately blown away by the incredible display of talent, by the incredibly heartfelt drama that it's in the film, and by the central performance by the main actors that we are going to introduce in a couple of seconds, in what is basically an incredible road movie with a tremendous humanistic approach.
Now we're very delighted, and we have the pleasure to call on stage the delegation, and I'll start with the director, Anna Gatto. Welcome to Locarno. And please, Locarno, welcome Juliette Binoche. Bonsoir et bienvenue. And I'll continue with the actress Hala Finley. Welcome. And the actors, Cameron Monaghan, Christiane Seidel, welcome. And the composer Anne Kulonen. The producers, Georgia Bailiff and Claudia Blum-Huber. Welcome to Locarno. And I'm also pleased to call on stage Maher Nasser, Director of the Outreach Division in the United Nations Department of Global Communication. Welcome to Locarno. Thank you for being here.
The first question, Anna, is for you. I mean, what was the main challenge that drove you to make this modern road movie with this strong performance at its core and with this relationship between the two protagonists? What was the main reason behind it?
Oh, the main reason was I had an odd experience when I was a teenager that it turned out, because the film deals with trafficking, and I had an odd experience when I was a teenager. It turned out there had been a brothel in my friend's building. And this was not a bad neighborhood. It was a safe neighborhood just like yours or mine. And ever since then, I wanted to find a way to tell a story to become aware of how trafficking is something that happens all around us, right around the corner from where we live. And then when I found this trucker character and found a way to make the story centered around her, because trucks travel everywhere where we go. They come into all neighborhoods, and they are a part of our entire society. That's when the story came to life. And then to have Juliette, and then Hala, who is such a wonderfully talented young actress, and see this dynamic between them. And I don't want to say too much because I don't want to spoil anything. But it was, I knew that the story would come to life. And that's, as a storyteller, that's such a privilege to feel that, you know?
Juliette Binoche, first of all, thank you for being back in Locarno. Thank you. What made you decide to accept this role, this unique role?
Well, I read the script. I was on a highway traveling. And when I read it, I couldn't stop reading it until the end. And then I happened to be in LA, and so I met with Anna, who I fell in love with, because there's a strength, and though there's an openness, there's a fragility at the same time. And I love the combination of both, because she had been through a lot of situation to find a producer, and she had this project with her that she was really caring like a child. And then finally she met with Claudia, who really gave birth to it with her. So when I met with her, I just felt, well, it's her first film, but I want to be part of it. I want to travel with it. And we did travel. Now we laugh about it, but we've been through a lot to make it happen. So tonight is the world premiere. It's a very special night for all of us, because we've been through in Mississippi the heat, the mosquitoes, the tight time shooting. We really had very little weeks to make it happen, but it really forced us to be like one and trust into it, believe in it, because the theme was so strong. And what happened between this actress next to me on my left, Hala, is just amazing. The first time we worked together, I was so relieved, because it's not always easy, to work with children, and even though you were 11. But when I really saw she was taking responsibility for her own role and for the theme, the main theme of this film, I felt we were saved. And I think Anna had the most amazing trust in her, because the truck was like almost human in a way, because it was talking to us in falling bits and opening door while driving, and there were tons of stories with that truck. But I'm sure you're going to love it. But while we were doing it, it was a roller coaster of emotions. So it's a miracle we're all here tonight, all together, Christiane and Cameron, and this beautiful composer I haven't met yet, and Georgia, of course, and all of us. We very feel blessed to be here, all of us together for tonight.
And blessed to be, and with everyone at the piazza. We're going to come over to the piazza and watch the film at the piazza.
Thank you. Thank you. Mr. Nasser, a question for you. The issue of human trafficking is a major crime of our time. What does the UN do in order to fight it?
Well, thank you. First, it's an honor to be here with all of you and to be part of a storytelling which is so compelling and so effective. Human trafficking is a horrendous crime. It's an absolute assault on people's rights, safety, and dignity. The problem is actually growing bigger, unfortunately, and women and girls are its biggest victims. Conflict, forced displacement, climate change, rising inequalities and poverty have left tens of millions of people destitute, isolated, and vulnerable. Human traffickers play on these vulnerabilities. The United Nations, through its work around the world, tries to tackle the root causes of these vulnerabilities, from conflict to climate change to rising inequalities to, of course, people forced displacement. Through the work of the United Nations Office on Drugs and Crime, the UN contributes to effective national, regional, and international policies that actually can help better identify and support and protect the victims, how to tackle the criminal networks that often work across borders. It's called human trafficking, so people are trafficked from one place to another. And for any cooperation, whether it's between law enforcement or between judicial authorities to deal with the proceeds, with the networks, with the money, and help the victims, you need an organization like United Nations that facilitates and creates the frameworks for that cooperation. So that's a little bit of what we do. And on the other side is that we also believe in the storytelling power, and we really embrace films that tackle issues that help raise awareness and create pathways to change.
Thank you very much. And thank you all. Before leaving, we would like to remind you to vote for tonight's film, Paradise Highway, if you think it should win the Prix du Public UBS. Thank you very much. Enjoy the evening. See you tomorrow. Enjoy your night in Locarno. Thank you.
Buonasera.